Coronation Street viewers were left stunned this week when cherished character Tyrone Dobbs was unmasked as the unfortunate local caught up in a hit and run, with actor Alan breaking his silence on the shocking twist. Unlucky Tyrone was struck down by Dylan Wilson and Brody Michaelis, who swerved the vehicle they had pinched to avoid colliding with Betsy Swain, all while running errands for Carl Webster's carjacking scheme. Discussing the secrecy of the plot, Alan explained, "Quite often, details of upcoming storylines make their way into the press, but this time nothing slipped out, and I think that's why it surprised everyone. We filmed it 10 weeks ago, yet nobody outside the team had any idea." Of course, nobody anticipated Tyrone would be the one taken out in the end, so I believe it landed as a genuine shock. It's important to keep fans guessing. I'm excited to see the episode myself and to watch how people react. Meanwhile, Dylan and Brody sped past George Shuttleworth in the stolen car, leaving him horrified when he realized Dylan was behind the wheel. Moments later at the precinct, they spotted Betsy, who was midway through sending Dylan a voice message and ringing her mother, DS Lisa Swain. Betsy let out a terrified shriek as the car veered towards her before skidding away and smashing. As Carla Connor and Lisa hurried to track down Betsy, she was left shaken when she stumbled across paramedics working on a man sprawled on the ground, who was soon revealed to be Tyrone. Opening up about the twist, Alan explained, "It was filmed in such a way that viewers aren't immediately told who's been struck or who was behind the wheel. You don't actually witness the stunt directly, since that would give away both the driver and the victim. Holding back made Tyrone's reveal far more dramatic than simply showing the crash itself, or even letting on that he was already at the precinct." Tyrone was quickly taken to hospital, with his wife Fizz Dobbs and mother Cassie Plummer rushing after him. Alan shared how Tyrone reacts once he regains consciousness. As you'd expect, Tyrone's first response is utter bewilderment. He doesn't remember the events, nor does he understand why he's suddenly in a hospital bed. As he gradually comes to, the pain kicks in and he realizes something is terribly wrong. He has no feeling in his legs. What follows is sheer panic. He's trying to piece together how he ended up there and why his body feels like this. He's absolutely petrified. When asked how much Tyrone chooses to share with his loved ones, Alan explained, "He keeps quiet until he's alone with Fizz at the hospital, as she doesn't want the others, especially his daughters, to be frightened. Once he begins to grasp what's happening to him, why he can't move his legs, and the reality of the situation, he craves the support of his family, because at heart he's very much a family man. But deep down, there's this constant dread and uncertainty about what the future holds and how his life will look after the crash. He wants to put on a brave face for his family, but that won't be easy." Is Tyrone about to exit Coronation Street? Not yet. As the storyline focuses on his long recovery journey, the character is set to remain on screen for the time being. Discussing Tyrone's attempts to accept his injury, Alan continued, "At first, there's the terrifying possibility that he may never get back on his feet. That fear is overwhelming. Not just for Tyrone, but also for Fizz, the children, his mum, and his gran. They're all left wondering whether he'll ever walk again, and how their lives might change going forward. But Tyrone knows his family will rally around him and face whatever challenges lie ahead together." In a newly released teaser clip, Tyrone opens up to his grandmother, Evelyn Plummer, confessing that he's anxious about the burden his condition could place on Fizz. Alan explained, "Tyrone's fully aware that most of the responsibility will end up falling on Fizz, looking after the kids, keeping the house in order, and juggling work. He realizes that, and the last thing he wants is to pile even more stress onto her shoulders." Tyrone always means well, but he doesn't always handle things in the right way, Alan admitted. Even here, rather than opening up to Fizz and letting her support him, he chooses to deal with things in the way he thinks is best, trying to protect his family from the truth when really he should be honest about how he feels. When questioned on whether the police make progress in tracking down the culprit, Alan added, "There's a lot of frustration about who was behind it, and anger that the investigation isn't delivering answers. Tyrone wants justice for what's happened, or at the very least to know who was responsible. That feeling is shared by the entire family. To ensure accuracy in depicting Tyrone's ordeal, the charity Spinal Injuries Association has been working closely with the production team. In a statement, they said, "We're thankful to ITV Studios in Coronation Street for highlighting the devastating effects of spinal cord injuries, from the shock of sudden paralysis to the lifelong challenges of nerve pain and mobility loss. Our organization has provided clinical insight and advice to help portray as truthfully as possible what people living through an injury like Tyrone's may face. Showing the ripple effect on his life and on loved ones such as Fizz will help the public better understand the realities for the 105,000 people in the UK living with spinal cord damage, many of whom struggle to access the care and expertise they urgently need." Reflecting on how the charity has supported him in portraying the aftermath, Alan explained, "Coronation Street is fantastic when it comes to research. The thing about spinal injuries, though, is that no two cases are the same. When I speak to the medical experts on set, I'm asking things like, how far can I move my shoulders? How much movement would I have in my neck? But the truth is, every patient responds differently to their surgery, so there isn't a clear-cut timeline for recovery. That actually helps us, because it means we don't need to lock Tyrone into specifics that could create problems later on. Most importantly, we're conscious that people at home have genuinely been through this. The charity is even organizing for us to meet someone who has experienced a similar injury, which will be incredibly valuable for me in understanding the role. What the lasting consequences will be for Tyrone remains uncertain. As for Dylan and Brody, viewers already know steps will be taken to cover their tracks, but could Tyrone's wish for justice ultimately end in disappointment? Beloved Coronation Street star makes shock exit from live tour after heartbreaking news. Coronation Street actress Vicky Myers has told fans she won't be able to join the ITV soap's upcoming live tour because of an unavoidable clash in her schedule. The 49-year-old, best known for playing Lisa Swain, revealed she has had to withdraw from an audience with Coronation Street in Glasgow after last-minute diary changes left her unable to appear. Sharing the news on social media, Vicky wrote, "I'm truly sorry to be missing the Glasgow event for an audience with Coronation Street on the 24th of September. Sadly, due to unforeseen schedule changes, I won't be able to attend." She continued, "We looked at every possible way to make the timings work, but unfortunately it just wasn't doable. This was completely beyond my control. Stepping in for me, however, is the wonderful and iconic Sue Devaney. She's absolutely fabulous and will be brilliant on the night." Vicky added, "I know it will be a fantastic evening celebrating 65 years of Corey Magic. I'll be there in spirit. My apologies once again. Love, Vicky." In an official announcement, the show confirmed, "As we approach the highly anticipated and audience with Coronation Street tour, we regret to share that due to unavoidable and complex filming schedule changes, Vicky will no longer be part of the Glasgow event on September 24th. The statement continued, "Stepping in for her will be Sue Devaney. Vicky is deeply upset that she can't attend. It's important to stress that she had no prior knowledge or control over the change in her filming commitments." The tour will be fronted by TV presenter Sharon Marshall, who wrote, "We love you, Vicky, and a huge thank you to the fabulous Sunshine Sue for joining us." Fans across the globe, from as far as the Netherlands and Australia, expressed their disappointment at the news. One supporter commented, "I'm heartbroken. It's devastating. You were the reason I traveled from the Netherlands to Glasgow. I do understand this wasn't your choice, but you'll be sorely missed." Meanwhile, a viewer from Australia added, "I feel the same way. I came all the way from Australia and even planned parts of my trip around being in Glasgow for that date." One disappointed fan shared, "I'm upset, but these things happen. I adore Corey, though Vicky was the real reason I booked. I'm sure it'll still be an amazing evening." Another added, "Oh no, I get it. but I'm absolutely gutted, especially after I upgraded to a VIP ticket only a few days ago. A third supporter wrote, I'm so sad. You were the main reason I bought tickets, but I completely understand it's not your fault. Hopefully I'll get to meet you someday. Someone else commented, it just shows what a wonderful person you are that this has hit you so hard. Vicky Myers first joined Coronation Street back in 2021 as part of the explosive acid attack storyline portraying D.S. Swain. Her powerful performance won over viewers and led ITV bosses to promote her to a regular role. This isn't the actress's first appearance on the small screen. In 2016, she featured in Harlan Coben's thriller The Five, before going on to secure roles in Ackley Bridge on Channel 4 and The Long Shadow, acting alongside stars such as David Morrissey. Coronation Street continues to air Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes also available to stream on ITVX and YouTube.